that riders can better understand the horse's intrinsic nature. Steve's training methods are extremely successful in helping dressage and competition riders achieve their goals, and he conducts clinics around the country. His training emphasis is on a much lighter contact and responsiveness between horse and rider, which has led him to initiate the Light Hands Dressage program. Coronation is a 15 3-hand-high, 8-year-old chestnut gelding with a white pin star and near-side hind socks. The Coronation after which this horse is named was a magnificent 17-hand-high chestnut gelding that was provided to the Viceroy of India, Lord Curzon, to celebrate Edward VII's coronation in 1903. And Lord Curzon kept that horse until he left India. He liked it so much. Steve is actually the second trainer to work with Coronation. He stepped in when the original trainer was unable to keep going with the program. So please welcome Steve Halfpenny and Coronation. Is the lapel mic up, Lynn? Is that? We'll just get a bit of audio going here for Steve.
Try that now. 1, 2, 3, that's better. It's funny, the more I do this, the quieter I get, so I actually need this to be working quite well. So I call him Radar. His name's Coronation, but radar seemed to suit him rather well, seeing as it was always switched on, and he would notice everything that changed around the place. As was mentioned earlier, he was with somebody else for 6 months before he came to me, and the relationship, I guess, wasn't working out the way there were plans, and he got defensive about life for some reason, so he came to me. And the goal was to get this horse ready for dressage. So I thought, perfect, suits my style. I like a light sort of a dressage. It can't be too hard to ride him. So after he unceremoniously dumped me pretty well, I went, now I can see why he's come to see me. You know, he needs to change me. So I've had to back right off with him. I had this plan, I'll get him saddled, I'll bring him to Equitana, I'll show you what I can do with him. And he went, no you won't. You'll actually slow down and take as much time as it takes to get me to trust you. So I've started to try and work on the groundwork that would lead towards my style of dressage. And for you guys that didn't see the last demo, I'm going to start working from his pole all the way through his body and trying to get every part of him to relax so that I can do the type of dressage that I want. I can't have any resistance in the horse's body, because can you imagine any resistance through the body? I'm going to have to fight that somehow with more rein, more leg, more something to keep it going. So I always start with a little bit of lateral work, you know, taking his shoulders away from me and then send him forwards if I can. It's got a little harder to do this now, because the more he's starting to trust me, the more he wants to be in my space. So I'm asking him to step away from me a little bit, you know, as this left front leaves the ground. And if he doesn't understand, I'm going to push him over there to get that shape in there. And he's sort of telling me, don't do that. And I said, well, move then. That's it. There. Relax. And to try and get the whole body to relax so that whatever I do with my reins can travel through his body until those hind feet start to step under and out like that. So it starts at the front end for me. If he's braced in the neck and I try and work on the rest of the body, it's not going to work. There we go. So I'm sort of tapping that left hind, step deeper, step deeper, step deeper, and then maybe step away from me. You're crowding me a little bit. Step away. And I got, the other big problem he had was anything on the right side was really frightening. And I put myself on his right side, and he'd just do whatever he could to get me back into this left eye. And I don't know whether you guys are one-sided. Are you one-sided like me? This is my good side, and it's his good side. And already I've started off on my good side, and I should have started off on my bad side and his bad side. Hey, can you just step away with your shoulders and go forwards and work on this side? So anytime I got sort of this far back, he'd try and leave. And if I sort of persisted with that, he'd try and kick me. Because, you know, he was getting defensive and I thought I was training him, so he'd go, if you keep doing that, I'm going to have to kill you. And I kept doing it until he tried to kick me, and then went, I better stop doing this and do something else. So if I want to long rein him, I've got to be able to get this far, further back, further back, further back, further back, and still not see any signs in him that he wants to leave me. And I try and rub him back here to a stop if I can, and get that energy down. Because when I get on, I'm going to be back here somewhere. What I found is when I did get on, he wanted to run away from this idiot that was sitting on his back. But the idiot kept following him because it was sitting on his back. So I just didn't stay there for very long. So I'm just going to keep working on this trust thing, get further back. And the other thing that would scare him is any ropes were just terrifying. So all my tools that I've relied on for the last 20 odd years, long ropes, lassos, he just was terrified of. So if this touched his hind leg, he'd just leave. And all the softness you can see in him, when he gets worried, that's gone. Like, he'll just straighten everything up. And there's no way in the world I could stop him. One time, I had a friend over. You guys might know Phil Rhodey. He came over for a while. And you sort of get so you doubt you're doing the right thing. So you need a bit of confirmation that you were. And he held me for 4 or 5 days. I thought, well, we got it solved now. He's got me on the horse. I'm riding him. The next week, he took off, disappeared through 2 fences, and was in the national park overnight. So I guess he's still not ready to ride. So I've just decided to get back on the ground and get him braver. I'm going to change ropes now and get longer. And if I say something you guys don't understand, or you like to ask a question, please just cut in and ask me a question about him. A lot of things I do are pretty instinct, I suppose I would call it, where I don't think much about it. Nowadays, I just do it. The other thing I suppose I should say is my connection with the horses, for a long, long time, it was never physical. It was like a mental connection that I want from him. Right, so I've got a longer rope. And I had real reservations about bringing him here, because I wondered how many people he could kill by the time he got to the other end of this arena if he left. And we've come here and he's just mellowed out with some help from some alternative medicine, I suppose. My journey with him, he's taken me down the shaman route and natural healers, and there, that starts. Go forwards. I'm just thinking to start with, my mind's thinking, can I get that shoulder to step away from me now? So it starts off in my mind, and if it doesn't work, it becomes more physical, like get over there. And then goes back to that almost telepathic, trying to think, get him to read my mind sort of feeling. And I want this to touch his legs. Before I join these up and try and long rein him, I want to know what's going to happen when he feels this touch his hind leg around there. That's all right. Because I know one of the things that, as was mentioned, I spent some time with Pat Pirelli years ago, and he taught me some good stuff with long ropes. And one of the warnings I remember there was never, ever step inside the coils. You know, if you drop your rope, don't ever step inside the coil, because the horse is going to drag you. And I found out that they drag you pretty fast when you do step inside the coils. It happened to me once, and that's what worries me with him. If I tie this up and he gets scared and leaves, and I'm on the wrong side of the rope, or he picked something up and it started to chase him, he'd have to go faster. There. Now, can I sort of change directions from back here? Can I get him to turn right from here? There. Just from that energy out there towards the fence. Turn right. Turn right. There you go. Turn right. Good boy. You're going a little fast. Let's move his hips. Change sides. Hey, hey, hey. That way. Step away from me. If I bring up some live, can you go? Good boy. Let's go. Let's go. And let's... Good boy. Can you slow down when I drop all that life? That was a weird thing, you know. Annie, the lady that was training him before, said her biggest problem with him was he wouldn't go forwards. Like he'd kick and kick and kick and he wouldn't move his feet. And he did the same to me. I'd smack him with a stick or something and he'd just take it. And you smack him harder and he'd take it. And I'd be behind trying to chase him around the round yard and he wouldn't move. And I went, would you just, and just left. So I went, wow, it's not actually the stick or the kicking, it's the energy that he couldn't handle. Now he's snorting a bit, you see, because I use that energy. So that's what freaks him out. And I come to this environment, I went, how many units of human energy is there in here right now that he's got to learn to deal with? Can we go? Can we go? Good boy. Come on. There we go, let's go. And let's slow down. You don't need to, see, he didn't slow when I did, so that's a sign of emotion. Why couldn't you slow down? And sometimes it was me that was scaring him. I thought I was helping him, but I was scaring him. Can you step away with your front end and go forwards? Create that life. Can you go? Good. Go, go, go. Lift, lift. Good boy. Lift that energy. Slow. There we go. That's all right. You're all right. Slow down. And I feel that every time he's cantered, really, in the wild, he probably wouldn't do that unless he wanted to leave. You know, these guys have to conserve their energy in case they need it to survive. Okay, you guys, if he takes off, you'll stop him, won't you? Good. So you're all ready, that's fine. Oh dear. You see? Ropes. Good boy. And it's not necessarily the feel of this. It's the thought of what he thinks I'm going to do to him. You know, I don't mean him any harm. But I've dragged this little thing with this little tassel on the ground behind him for hours. Until he stopped freaking out every time he saw this little white thing following him. And he's probably taught me that what would take me 10 minutes with one horse, I might spend 10 months with him. And to be way more patient than I was. So I think if I can give Annie something to feel good about, I think this horse needed to come to me because he had a job to do with me, not her. I'm the one that needed to change. So, hey, good boy. So that's around his rump. But I'm sort of, I'll take that away a little bit. If I get into trouble here, I'm going to get short on this rope and just drop that, like that. Good. And he can just get himself all tangled up in it, doesn't matter, as long as I don't let go of the bit that's on his head. And yeah, you did it. Don't look at me like that. Come on, forwards. Forwards. There you go. Forwards. Get your other leg off it. Good boy. There we are. Forwards. Backwards. There we go. And when things go wrong, it's like I can't have one of those moments because he'll leave. Start again. Come on, drop it over there. Sort of drive him a little bit. Come on, you're okay. And then I'm sort of going to move his hips towards me and let that one slide out and then lead his front end over here. So he's changed eyes. That was a big deal for him. Right front, right front, right front, right front, right front. There you go, have a think. And I think he starts to understand that if I'm in time with his actions, he goes, that's communication. You're not trying to pull me around, you're trying to talk to me with these long lines. So if I want him to come left, as that left front leaves the ground, now, I just touch the rope. Now, there's the left front. And again, left front, come towards me, come towards me, come towards me. And then maybe mentally I'll just let him go somewhere and just relax for a second. Because when he's in that frame where I've got him so contained, I can just feel him go, I'll give you 20, 30 seconds and then I might have to get out of here, so you better let me have a think. Yeah, good horse. Can we go somewhere? And I don't really care how good he goes today. There you go, that's what I shouldn't do. Don't do that. Good, there we go. Move your hips across. Move your hips across. Move your hips across. Good boy. Let's go forwards. So everybody said, what are you going to do when you come out here today? So I have no idea. Whatever he lets me do, then I'll try and do. I'd like him to be able to half pass, so I'm going to try and step him over there. Good boy. You can go. Come on. Got freedom to move. You know, and to be back here, I've got to be honest, when I first got back here, I went, oh, I hope he doesn't nail me. Because if I scare him when I'm here, he's still that wild horse comes out pretty fast. Then he's going to do something about it. Good boy. So I want to be able to go half passing, side passing, turns on the haunches. Hey, can you tolerate me in both eyes here? Can you come around with the left front? Left front, go forwards and left front. Go forwards, left front, left front, left front, left front. Come on, forwards, I need energy. You can't direct something that's going nowhere. Change eyes, try it on this side. Right front, go forward. Right front, right front, right front. And as soon as I see him going, I can't cope, I'm going to, yeah, all right, stop. Take the pressure. I thought I listened to everything in my horse. He said you don't listen to everything. There, let's go forward. I'm going to shorten this left rein so his eye goes to the left, and then ask his hip to go to the left. Send him forwards, nose to the left, hip, hey, take your hips to the left. Go forward, you're all right. I should be able to even spin him from here if I get him. There you go, bring him around. Step over. Good boy. Can you get ready to stop? Ooh, could you come back? Could you come back? Good. Let him have a bit of a think again. Isn't he amazing, really? I can't believe how well he's looked. You know, he looks well anyway. I'd have done a great job of helping him look great. And if he gets better and better, he'll start to make me look good, which is just an extra benefit that might come out of all this. Cool, there you go. Now push that hip under, push the hip under, push the hip under, push the hip under. I like his nose a little bit more to the right, but he's telling me he probably needs to look at me for security. Send him forwards a bit more. Step him over, step across. Don't lose the forwards energy. Good. If I slow down, could you slow down or are you going to leave? So when I just sit here and I quit, if he does a whole circle, I went, why didn't you stop there? Couldn't you feel the change in me? Because I've got a bit of emotion in me, so my feet are going to keep going for a little while longer. You wrap me up in this rope, you'll be pretty close. Thank you. So what I would say in this type of horses, they're pretty damn hard to read. You know, what looks quiet isn't. You know, you go, oh, he's quiet. I go, he wasn't quiet, he was just shutting things out. And then once he opened up, he came out fighting. So I want him to never go back to that place where he has to sort of mentally go away somewhere. Somebody, I don't know, it was Pat Pirelli, said something about that, like pack mules, you know, they go to their happy place once they're on the trail and they're packing and carrying something for 10 miles or 10 days. They don't have to think about much, they just go to their happy place. Good. Can you bring the hips towards me? Good boy. Can you take the front away this way? Almost park behind. Park the hind. No, it's all right, don't get worried. See, I want him to step out to the right, so there it is. Good, and again. Good boy. And don't worry about that pole. If you can talk, he's all right for you. Don't worry about the stick. Good. Come along. So does that sort of look dressage-y, sort of, a little bit? Good. Great. That look that he's giving me, you know, when he's soft underneath the neck and everything's just relaxed, that's worth gold to me. I wouldn't trade that for anything. Good boy, let's go. Well, I'm talking a lot. You got any questions? Okay. I guess it's a little hard to explain. I can see it in his eyes.
So the question is, what does the horse do that tells Steve that the horse is not coping?
And he might start adding more than I'm asking him to do. Have you ever had a horse that just won't stand still? They just guess. They're looking for comfort, but they can't find it. And when I see him starting to, yeah, you get a bag for asking that question, by the way. Good, that's to encourage people to ask more questions. And he'll go from that quiet place where he looks quiet to going, I'm leaving. You know, you've shut me down, but when you wake me up, I'm probably just leaving. And he just, the time he disappeared through the park, I was on my saddle horse, leading him, and before I could get it around the horn a couple of times, he'd gone already, like shit. All red stuff's coming out, and I'm like, that really hurts. And the reason he was in there overnight, he went so damn fast. I didn't see any fences down. So I tried to track him for about 4 hours or something, and it went dark. And I had no idea where he was. And then we'd all be ready for bed, and I thought, I've got to go and have another look. Jumped in the car, went for another drive, and I could see the fence was a bit of an angle. Oh, he's gone through the fence. Had a look, he'd gone through the fence, across the road, through the next fence, smashed the concrete post 4 inches thick off, and all the Rio rods were hanging. And I'm like, great, now I know where he's gone, and I know he's probably injured. Like he's out there, and he's just going to be in a mess. And I went out the next day, I'm tracking him. I waited, dawn, I was already out there. I thought, God, he's going to be dead out there, bled out or something if he's cut something deep. And he had a couple of little marks on him, and he's standing there going, hi, did you have a good night? I'm like, no. I was sure you were dead. He's got a little line across his forearm there, a little line there. And I went, you are one tough horse, Mine would have been limping around for months, if he'd have done that to himself. He's like, right, what's next? Amazing animal. Amazing.
So what do you think is in the future for Coronation?
Oh, I'm going to ride him. When he tells me, he's almost telling me, get on. I'm like, well, maybe not here. maybe not here. Maybe in a round yard.
So you'd like to keep him?
Oh, he's staying with me. Yeah, he's going nowhere. Yeah.
Just a comment that when he was cantering, when he was trotting.
Oh yeah.
So is he a comfortable horse to ride? The trot looked beautiful.
Yeah, he'd be awesome, wouldn't he? Really would. And it's that shape, one of the things I learned to do is don't practice stuff that you don't like. So if he's going around with his head on the outside and dropping his shoulder and all worried, it's like slow down and get it right at the walk. If he can't do a nice circle in the right shape, why are you practicing doing something badly? You just get really good at it. But if you don't know what else to do, you keep practicing the bad stuff, don't you? Because you've got no other... Yeah.
So the question is that Coronation seems to be quite sensitive to the energy around him.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a Waler thing or a wild horse thing, or what do you think it is?
I would say any horse that I own is going to start looking like this pretty quick, because I work with energy all the time from inside. I was never taught, luckily, to kick to go and pull to stop and do all the things, traditionally you get taught to do. My horse leaves from a flat-out gallop from a standstill if I just go, let's leave. I don't kick him, I don't squeeze him, we just do it. But on the other hand, that would terrify a nervous person, wouldn't it? Because nervous energy is the same as, you get worried, he's leaving, so trying to get him to understand the difference between nervous energy and just energy and intent. If I ask him to step away from me, a part of it is intent. I want you over there. And then do whatever it takes to get him to understand to move his feet over there. But I've got a really strong mind picture of what he needs to learn from me. And then because I know exactly what I want him to do, he goes, well, I know too. Some of us don't know, do we? Who's ever practiced something for a long time and somebody's come along and told you it was the wrong thing to do? And you did it for 2 or 3 years. I did it for years and years and years. And I used to always use my legs all the time, pushing horses around, squeezing them. And I think it was Phil Rohde, he said, do you always use your legs like that, Steve? I went, yeah, I've read the books, you use your legs. And he went, doesn't your horse follow energy in a field? I could have dug a hole and buried myself, because I preached the preach, but I didn't understand what I was trying to preach. These guys, when I put my gelding in with him, he would have been an 8-year-old stallion when he was captured. My gelding lives with my 9-year-old stallion, so they play pretty tough all the time. I put him in with him, and the gelding started the foal thing. I've never seen him do it in his life. He went, this guy is a seriously tough character. And he looked like this. He wasn't being aggressive, he just walked in and went, oh shit. Don't piss him off. And that's what he's taught me. Don't piss him off. Because he looks like a little angel, doesn't he? Man, he can change in a hurry. And I never want to bring that out. So my job is to try and get whatever worries him to be a distant thought that never comes back to the surface. I like to, some people will say, bring the bucks out. I go, I don't want to leave the bucks in. He's already proved to me that I can't ride it. And I'm too old to want to even try, I'm a bit old to start the rodeo school.
The time that he took off through the fences and out into the national forest, was there any indication that he was going to do that? Like, had you...
No, I'd had some help from Phil, so we were doing stuff and I was going to do what he'd showed me. And I'll just take him for a short trail ride. And he's suddenly looked in the right eye. I think that either the wind moved the stirrup on because he was saddled up. And he saw the little stirrup move, just gone. Wow. So, yeah, out of the blue. And then, of course, my saddle's a mess now.
Yeah.
You have another question?
So with more training, do you think his wild horse nature will eventually subside, or will he always have that?
Oh, it's funny, last night I dreamed vision, thought of the future. I went, I'm going to be riding him back riderless at a flat-out gallop one day. Because the way I work with a horse, if I can't, then I haven't got the connection that I was looking for. If he can't read me that well, that he can stop without me having to pull on his mouth, which is what you see when I do the groundwork. When I stop, why are you going? Why am I going to have to... And we get into doing. Somebody said, don't be a human doing, be a human being. Just be connected with these things. Don't be so damn mechanical about everything. But I was, I paid a lot of money to be mechanical. Paid to all the clinics, all the best trainers. I was a good trainer. State champion with my horse for a few years. And, when I look back and go, he hated me. No, really. He was obedient, but he hated me until I got into this style of horsemanship.
How often are you working with Coronation? Would you work with him every day, or?
Hell no. No, I thought, I'll take him on a few weeks, I'm good at this, he'll be what an education. No, he's been with me for about 5 months, and I've been away for maybe 2 or 3 of those months. So there's been no real consistency, except for when I'm with him, we're together, and whatever he thinks I need to do for him is what I'll do for him. Whereas I'm sure my agenda used to get in the way. I want to be riding you, I want to be this. And he said, well, give it a go. I went, no, I don't think I'll give it a go. But isn't it funny how you need a horse like that to come into your life to go, just slow down? Because I see a lot of ridden horses that they're tolerating being ridden, but they're not accepting the rider. You're having to hold them, you're having to pull on them, they're always leaving, they're emotional, you know. The only way you get a true collected horse in my mind, and I might be wrong because I'm often wrong, is that forwards thought has to be so balanced emotionally that it takes nothing to bring him back to you. You know, if it takes a few kilos and his mind's still pushing forwards, you never get that softness that I'm looking for in the neck and the shoulders and the whole body, because you're blocking it, and then he wants to stop because he feels that pressure. Then you have to kick him to keep him going because he's stopped, and then you. I think you follow what I'm getting at anyway. You know.
So Steve, what areas of his training would you work on before you would actually take to riding a lot?
I'll do all this now with the saddle on. You know, before I left, he taught me, because I got, I did the natural horsemanship thing, so I've got the buckaroo saddle with this metal stirrups and all, the Ray Hunt look-alike stuff. And he'd see those shining, and that's what used to set him off. You know, the light would catch on the silver stirrups, and he'd go. So I'd taken the stirrups off, I put the saddle on him, and just turned him out in the paddock. And now he's starting to bend around, look at the stirrups, and play with them. And then he'll move them and go, oh my God, it moved. I'm like, well, you did it. But I think he needs to live with the saddle until that doesn't bother him. Because I get on and go and put my foot in the stirrup and it moves. That's what got me bucked off. I went, just get on, just bang. Well, that was quick.
And do you find that he retains his training, or does he forget?
Absolutely. If I go away for a month and come back, he's exactly where I left him. Which is really, and if it's not like that, I think I flooded him. Do you know the difference between flooding and progressively training a horse? If I do more than he can cope with mentally, he'll shut it out. And I think, and if physically he might do it, the next time I come to work with him, it's gone. And I have to teach him all over again. So if it stays, then he's telling me you're not working faster than I can absorb it. So Yeah. Oh, I had ropes on the stirrups and I was flapping him around and trying to get him used to it. But I think what he did was just go, that's okay. And then you'd get on, and then he goes, now I've got a human and the saddle. And I can't contain this like I was, That's what I mean by going to that happy place. He doesn't look like he's changed much, but he did. He just went, oh shit. And then you get on, and it can be like a rider with a stick and a flag. I didn't buck the person up until they tried to carry a stick and a flag. And you don't realize every little extra piece is something else. And you might be so close, like below zero, you're in the red. Above zero, you're putting trust and more confidence into him. They won't operate in the red, these guys. You get below zero and they end up cracking a mental and dropping you. But he doesn't let you know that zero is fast approaching. It's just like, so I keep trying to put money in the bank and take nothing out. Yeah. He didn't come back. I had to go and track him and find him. Yeah.
So the question there was, if he's a wild horse and he got into a national park, why didn't he just keep going? Why did he stop?
Yeah. It's funny because my wife's talking, she said, well, we'll just leave all the gates open, leave his yard open, he'll come back tonight. And I started laughing. She said, what's so funny? I said, he ain't coming back. He's happy as he can be out there. I've got to go and find him. No, I tracked him and I got out for an hour and I'm like, I'm never going to find him. This is thousands of acres. I'm never going to find him. And the tracks are almost impossible to see. I'm like here going, I don't know where he is. And I went, oh, there he is. And he's like, hi, you got a carrot? I went, yeah, actually I do. So he's taught me to bribery and corruption and all sorts of stuff that I would never use, What is it that I can offer him that he might have a use for a human being? And I would tell most people, don't hand feed a horse, you'd spoil the hell out of them, they'll start pushing you around. He's actually at the point where he's starting to push me around a bit, and I'm going, good, now I can be your leader. When you think that I'm not that scary, that you can come up and give me a shove and lean on me and push on me, I go, great. Now I can go, don't do that. Before, all I would do is frighten him more. If he's already frightened and I try and be the leader, I'm just going to scare him. Yeah.
When you found him out in the national park, was he hard to catch?
No, the rope's hanging on the ground like that, and he's standing going, "Whew, that rope chased me for kilometers. Could you just pick it up off the ground so it doesn't do that anymore, you know?"
Great.
So I guess he left, then the rope's dragging, because I had him on a halter and saddled. So
we've
the
got
rope
time.
chased him through 2 fences and took him off. If the rope wasn't on the halter, I don't think he would have gone. I think he'd have done 100 meters and stopped, and that's what I thought when he left. He won't go far. Oh, he's going a long, long, long way.
So I think we've got time for one more question, sir.
Yeah.